Morning all. So today I'm going to start us on how to make animated GIFs using Geogebra. I'm going to do just one little thing today, just about how to get sliders working and how to get them to loop, how to get our objects to loop in position. I'm assuming that we've all seen Geogebra at least a little bit, so I'll dispense with some of it, but as we go through it, I will explain everything we do. I have today, before I started, increased the font size up to the maximum so that you guys can easily see what's going on the screen. Doesn't mean we've got a little less space, but we can make do for the video. The version of Geogebra that I'm using is Geogebra Classic 5. It isn't the newest, it isn't the fanciest, it doesn't link in as well with the online resources in Geogebra, but it is the most stable for what we're doing, which will be eventually lots of manual code, and it lets us edit it quite easily, and the export GIF function works really well in this one. So what we're going to start with is just putting a slider on. The slider is how we will control our animation. It's what everything comes from. And the sliders can be found here. So we click slider, click anywhere on screen, or click slider, click anywhere on screen. I'm going to call it angle A. I used to be a purist and call it alpha, but then it got too annoying trying to find a Greek thing, so I've gone to alpha A, and we're going to say it's a number that starts at any number between 0 and 6.28. We can leave the increment blank for now. We'll get to that when we need to. And we're going to click slider, and we're going to let's click animation and make it increasing. This means that the slider will, when we press go, the slider will go from 0 to 6.28 and then back to 0 and to 6.28 and do that. Whereas if we have oscillating, it'll just go back and forth. So what we've done now is we've put a slider called A, and something has popped up into our algebra window. Everything we make on screen will pop up into the algebra window here, and that will let us edit it and access it in a different way. So the slider A, we drag this point and to make A be anything we want from 0 up to 6.28. So how do we make this work? So first thing we could do would be to, let's just make a point. Let's say bracket A comma 0. So I'm in the input window here down the bottom, I'm just making a point. I'm saying A is its left-right coordinate and 0 is its up and down. So it'll be somewhere on the x-axis. And if I do that, it should pop a point in to up here at 3. Oh, it does there, right there. And if I move A down, it goes down to 0 and then it goes up. Now that's very hard to see and it disappears off screen. So I'm going to do a couple of things. First, I'm going to zoom out, just using the mouse wheel to zoom out. Okay. And it's very hard to see that. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you the third important window in Geogebra, which is the object properties window. So we will right click, go to object properties, and this window pops up. Now you may need to stretch it out a little bit. Oh, you may need to stretch it out a little bit so we can see what's going on. I want to change the color. Let's say the color, let's make it pink. Let's see, where's A gone now? Oh, and A is now pink. But it's hard to see, so I'm going to make that quite big. And let's see what kind of point style could I do. Okay, cool. There we go, there's our point A. It goes from 0 up to 6.28. Now, believe it or not, we are ready to animate and have a look at something. So let's right click, hit animation on, and we'll notice that as A increases here, the slider A, the point A, increases also. And as slider A gets to 6.28, we will see that A pops back to 0. Now, why 6.28? 6.28 is 2 times pi, which is a full circle in radians. And GeoGebra, working in radians in GeoGebra is much easier than working in angles. One of the main reasons is if we're working in degrees rather, if we're working in degrees, we have to remember the degree symbol, which is very, very easy to forget when you're writing complicated code. So we just stick with radians and it makes our life a hell of a lot easier. So now I want to mess around with A. I want to change that. It's fine, it's moving, but it's not doing anything special, or it's not looping. In order to be able to do anything that relates to slider A, I have to pause the slider first. So animation off. So then to change what the point A is, go to object properties again, and this definition here is the maths for A, so or what A is defined by. I should have a word for that, but I don't. So I'm going to redefine it, and I'm going to say, instead of A, I'm going to say cos A is its left value, so cosine, and then its right, its left value, its x value. Then sine A is the up and down, and that will do something. We press enter, and suddenly point A is shifted. So it is cos A is its x coordinate and sine A is its y coordinate. And now what happens when we hit animate? We move in a circle. This is the unit circle, in fact, so I'm going to zoom in. Let's get close because I know cos goes between -1 and +1, and sine goes between -1 and +1. So I know the limits of this on screen. And you'll notice that as the angle gets to 6.28, A comes back to the start, and then we go on forever. Now all we have to do is export that. So this is our first animation, so let's go export graphics. So sorry, I'll do that again. File, export graphics view as animated GIF. Now make sure the slider A is what we're animating on. We can only animate using one slider at a time. We need to click as loop, otherwise the GIF won't know to start back at the start. And then 40 milliseconds is the time between frames. Now 40 is roughly the amount of time that would give us 24-25 frames per second, which is a standard in animation or TV. Now, as things get more crazy and more complicated, you might need to make that smaller because you need more detail, but this is a good place to start. And I'll do a whole video on how to work with time between frames and increments, but for now we'll just leave it at that. Now what happens here is I hit export, and in theory we call it animation 1 and save. What happens now is the thing exports. This will not do that now because the computer is running screen capture on the camera on the desktop, and it's going slowly, but that green bar will increase in size and it'll be done. Then we can have a look at the GIF wherever it has saved. Now the only issue here is there is no way to stop Geogebra once you've hit export. You have to go into Task Manager and look for a Java app and cancel it and end task, or you just leave it till it's done. If you end task, you lose all your work that you haven't saved, so you need to make sure you save it every time before you try and export anything, just so you don't lose everything. Saving regularly is also really important in Geogebra because it can often, when things get too complicated, make an object just disappear, and no amount of undo will make it come back. It's as if GeoGebra has wiped it from its memory, so it is denying it ever existed. So I'm not going to wait for that to export, but you do that, you go into the folder that your GeoGebra program is in, and then you have a brand new GIF that you can watch, and it will loop. Please, I've gone very fast on this, but please ask me if you'd like me to re-explain anything, or if there was a bit there that I don't realize was more complicated than I thought, and I will put together another video quickly. I hope this was useful. Next time we're going to go into animating sequences. So we're going to make a sequence. Well, we're going to make a sequence first, and then we're going to figure out how to animate sequences and make things go a little bit crazy very quickly. Thanks. Talk to you.